friends, you're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch. Hello! We're going to do a fun video today. We're going to talk about all the different things that you can sleep with in bed with you, and why the heck would you want to do that, okay? So let's first start and we'll talk about books. Here are 3 books: The Sacred Wisdom of the Native Americans, Puppet Magic, and The Witch's Hearth, which I've been so busy making custom Etsy orders and such that I haven't had time to read them. However, I will be getting time to read them eventually, but if you sleep with books, you can absolutely ask your spirit guides before bed to help you absorb this sacred knowledge, okay? Another book, this book that I received from a dear friend and a family member here at the Taxidermy Witch, Heal Thyself. It's to help me understand the essential oil of the Bach flower essentials better. And it was written in the 20s, and it's written in a different time, in a different way. You know, that's 100 years ago now. So I'm sleeping with it to help me understand a little bit more about how it I'm asking spirit guides to help me understand it when I read it better. So every time I go back and try to read it, hopefully I'll get a little bit more out of it. Here's another book like that. I received this for a Yule gift, the Witchcraft and Demonology Encyclopedia of, and it was from my husband. I just haven't had the time really to sit down and read it. It's not one that you can look things up in. It's one that you find so many new things in, okay? Back here are just my friends who always stay in bed with me, which is this little bubber, which was Alex's when he was a little boy. And then his family had this elf doll, which they gave us. And then I have a little Sasquatch doll here, and this pillow that I made out of a t-shirt, which I love. So anyway, some things up here that I sleep with back behind this ladder. There is an I Love Texas doll. It's a Barbie that I had a long time ago, actually. I got it thrifting maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Had no idea I'd be going to Texas, but just 3 weeks ago Alex found it and was like, hey, you want this? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Because it was just meant to be, you know. The next thing over is a little doll that I had from childhood. His name is Sheen, because he reminds me of Charlie Sheen in the movie Dead Zone by Stephen King. Okay, so those are those 2 dolls up there that I'm talking about, and that is a Barbie with no legs or head, and it has a shirt that says I Love Texas. And that's Cowboy Bob from Pee Wee Herman's show. I can't remember what his cowboy name is, but there's some herbs right there that I like to absorb and sleep, and there's some snowberries there because I've been wishing for snow. So snowberries in the middle, some feathers so I can get more like astral travel out of my dream from a bird that soars high in the sky. Unlike the peacock, which yes, it does fly a little bit, I suppose, but they more hop and they don't soar high up in the skies for long periods, right? So that was what I was talking about the other day in the video. So I've got some bird that flies high in the sky, and then I've got, oh, those little toothache bones. And I keep my mojo bag, but now I'm charging it in the window over here. So I have a mojo bag for toothaches I keep up there, or I keep in my pillow. Now down over here I have some rocks from friends, and sometimes I do sleep in bed with those, either up there on the shelf or in my pillow. Next to the rocks from friends is a perfume bottle. If I'm trying to get more communication with my grandma, I'll sleep with one of her perfume bottles. The next thing over is some jewelry. You can sleep with jewelry and try and charge it that way and try and really connect with it. When you're we spend 1/3 of our lives right here in bed. So that being said, and we're on a completely different level than we are in our regular lives. This is Claire. You've met her before in videos. She doesn't have any eyes, and she came that way. I found her in the thrift shop that way. So she holds on to a rose that was from my daughter, and then inside the rose is a piece of mugwort from my garden a couple of years ago. And she's just a doll that I really like to use to heighten my clairaudience. That is the talent that I have been gifted with since I was a little girl at 3 or 4 years old. Being able to hear things that I thought for a long time I was nuts, of course, because you see Hollywood, if you're hearing things, you're nuts. But really, you learn about clairaudience in this craft, and it's really quite beautiful. Before I forget, we are right up here to this witch's ladder. It's got peacock feathers on it. I crafted it myself. It's bound up with black hemp twine. These are big raw amethyst chunks on here. Right up here is a muskrat jawbone. Coming up, there's more big chunks of amethyst. And then all the way up, another chunk of amethyst. There's 3 big chunks altogether. There are 7 feathers altogether. No, excuse me, there are 9 feathers altogether. And then there's a big hook at the top, and I hang it on this stag. And I have a piece of taxidermy, yes, right over my bed. I love using the energy of that stag in my sleep. I hate to say use, I'm sorry, Bubs. Work with that energy. And I've got some artwork that just really brings me back. This isn't Starry Night, it's Starry Night with a UFO. And there's no particular reason that Beatles poster is there, but right next to it, I've got some inspirational kind of spacey dream type posters, which I like to have near my bed. So I'd actually like to switch the two, perhaps I will. So next over, herbs. My mandrake root, I do bond with that in my bed, and just have it, you know, over to the side. I have a whole side where the things are, and then I sleep over here, if that makes sense. And then, so mandrake, mugwort, a mojo bag with some toothache herb. Remember those buzz buttons that we tried together? Passion fruit skins. Maybe you want to sleep with herbs in bed so that you become more passionate. Something like that. Up here, I've got a little charm or talisman that I made with, it's just a couple things and a piece of trash. I think I called it 2 ingredients and a piece of trash, or rubbish. It's dried eucalyptus, it's a peacock feather, and some knot magic, and on some purple thread that I would have otherwise thrown away. It was just thread scraps right at the end. So basically, if you hang this above your bed, it will keep you from getting sick. Since I've hung it, I've not gotten sick. Okay, lastly but not leastly, I wanted to show y'all this. Something that you can do. You can get the type of bedspread where you can write symbols and sigils directly on your bed. Or you can do some law of attraction. Jen is so well rested. So mote it be. Alright guys, thanks for joining me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and I hope you enjoyed my tips about all the things that you can sleep with in your beautiful craft. If you would like one of these handcrafted chicken foot ones, all you have to do is leave me a message and then we get them going on my Etsy page. Alright, thanks for joining me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.